We're rolling. We're here. Another episode.
Let me turn this on.
I'm excited about this one. I'm excited about all of them.
I got a new game to play on the podcast.
Oh, I like that.
No, don't turn it off. Don't turn it off.
Oh, leave it
You
on.
ruined the game.
It's a drinking game.
The over-under on how many times his phone will chirp
Well, he
during
just
the
had
podcast.
one. Does the first one count, or are we
No,
starting
because
from zero?
we hadn't talked our way in yet.
He's always
Five.
good. I would say he's always good for 3. Let's make the over-under 4, and I'll take the under. You can take the
I'll
over.
take it. No, it's under.
It depends. We've had far more than 4 on some days.
No, I have no knowledge.
He has no idea.
You don't know what you set alarms
Set it
for?
and forget it.
Oh, you're talking about alarm.
Well, whatever your phone does.
Any
Some of it
noise.
you can control, some
I
of it you
think
don't.
these are calls and texts. Those are the only
I'll
things.
take the over. Let's move on.
I'll
We'll
take
see.
the under.
Let's go.
It's
The
four
over-under
is
is
the over-under.
4.
I'm taking the under.
Ed says
You're
fewer.
taking this too seriously.
Oh no, we're having fun with
Yeah.
it.
No,
I'm not
listen.
having that fun.
Well, the game hasn't even begun.
I'm not having
Yeah,
fun
you don't
with
know.
it.
I mean, I think you're going in with the wrong attitude.
I'm going in with the attitude.
I feel like there's
Did you
that.
want the microwave on your right?
You know
in
what?
Front of you?
I mentioned this to my father. I think not today because we don't have time. But I think in the future,
Someday.
I may move the toaster oven onto the table next to me so I don't have to get up. And I like the idea that I'm kind of cooking during the show.
People may enjoy seeing that it's legit. It's not some phony oven over there. We want to eat these the way that they were
That's
supposed to
exactly
be.
right.
eaten.
And we want to know.
I
what
don't
you
want to
enjoy.
sacrifice.
Yeah, you know what? I'm done actually asking them for their opinions because they've shared a few lately and they can shove it up their ass.
We take
no, I'm just
great
kidding.
care
Have they?
in reheating the food to the
We do.
way it would be when it was fresh,
When it was
freshly
first
made.
served, the way
Yeah.
that the restaurant intended. And
That's
this
right.
week, we're finally doing Companion, which I'm
local
kind of surprised that we have never
institution.
done
I am too.
Companion, considering we've now done about 40 places. And we have a lot of great options. So I'm not going to tell you them all now, but when the time comes, we've got some really good descriptions right now. We're going to try 5 different sandwiches today.
That's a
and
lot.
I don't know if this is jumping the gun, but there is a cold one, and we could get started right out of the
You want
gate.
to get started? Hey,
I would like
Jen,
to.
would you grab me my knife, please?
We
Somebody
have...
said to me that you're cutting sandwiches. You should have a bread knife.
Yes, that's true.
I love that. Everyone has an opinion.
No, they're 100% right.
I understand, but-
Here's the problem.
No, I don't think he was being critical.
No.
He was just-
He's 100%
he was making
right.
a suggestion for you.
No,
I
he's
know,
right.
But he's making it in the in the should.
Well,
And
as
it's
opposed to-
something that I...
you may
He's
find
not
it
on the show.
you
Without a
may find
doubt.
it easier.
It's Thomas. He was,
No,
we
he's
were
100%
actually
right.
looking at an
okay.
episode.
Well,
Oh,
if
look
it's
at
if
that.
it's him saying it, then it's
Thank you,
okay because
Jen.
I like
I
Thomas.
mean, I think he was trying to help.
Oh my God, look at these.
Appreciate it.
That's scary.
You,
Are
you
these
don't think?
yours?
Well, maybe Thomas hasn't seen these
Wait,
knives
are
yet.
these your knives?
Wait, turn those
They
around
are.
to the camera so the humans can see it.
That's frightening. Those are scary knives.
Yeah, but you know what? They're still at the end of the day just a blade.
What are those movies? Saw movies?
They're
I haven't
just-
seen any of them.
they're
I don't
just
like
good.
horror.
This is the kind of stuff I think you'd see.
I don't like horror movies.
You know what's
Look at it.
interesting?
Hold that up. Show them you don't like horror movies. That's a
I
scary
don't
looking
like it.
knife.
Yeah,
Hey,
it is.
you need to open a beer?
You get any extra leverage with your finger through that hole, you think?
I don't know. I've never
or is
used
it
it
just for
before.
show? Let's
It's
cut.
got a little
I'm thinking that first
grip.
sandwich is
Let's go.
probably the chicken salad.
Let's see how the shark bites its way through this
well,
sandwich.
do you see a croissant?
A croissant?
That must be it. Okay.
croissant.
This is called the Caddy Corner Chicken. And with this, I'm excited about this because online, people said that the companion chicken salad might be the best in town.
Is it me or is it hot in here today?
It's a little warm. And, we have not done a chicken salad sandwich, I don't think, in any of the 40 places
that
we've been
possible?
to.
I
It's
don't think
possible.
we've done a lot of salads.
We did a trout salad
nothing
sandwich
like that.
at Union Loafers, but we have not done a classic chicken salad
I'm
sandwich.
torn here. I'm not using the new knife on
Now,
this because it's going to be
a little
very,
creamy. It's a little
yeah,
creamy.
It's going to be tough for future sandwiches.
I'm a big chicken salad fan, and that looks beautiful. Now, I know in town, I usually will get my chicken salad at Straub's because they just do a classic chicken salad, and it's always delicious. But then there's also that you were mentioning chicken salad chicks.
Yeah,
that
I mean, it was very. I got their regular, just
their
original,
classic chicken
and
salad.
it was very good.
I get their Dixie Chicks, which is like an onion-laden chicken salad.
But they're
'cause
now
I really
just
enjoy.
the chicks, right?
Yeah, well, they are in real life, but the sandwich, I believe, is still the Dixie chick.
I wonder if now with the shift in the mood of the country, if they'll go back to Dixie.
I think so.
No, because
I think you're
the
going to see that
shift
word
was
popping
not
up.
on their side of the political
I know,
fence.
but they're
But
a
I
business.
mean, you are seeing a lot of
Why are you
businesses.
taking that plate? You don't have.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, but remember, they took
You're seeing a lot of businesses reverse their position
but they
on
took an
things.
ideological stance, and it cost them dearly at this
the
point.
group won't change it, but I think what he's saying is, does the word all of a sudden come back into the lexicon? And
Oh, they're gonna. Yes,
Let me
I
say
think
this.
it will be.
Yes, if you're talking about the band, no. If you're talking about the word and a lot of language that was in recent times thought distasteful, that's all back.
this is a very good chicken salad sandwich.
Is it? Let's see.
It's just what you want. It's not fancy. All white meat, celery, mayonnaise, salt and pepper.
That's true of a lot of foods.
I like a heavily celeryed chicken salad.
You want the texture.
But I don't like people messing with things.
What do you mean?
Like, making chicken salad and then putting weird ingredients in.
Right.
Just that.
Right.
I mean, I like chicken salad.
Wow, that's a nice sandwich.
Yeah, just traditional.
What other offensive words that we got rid of do you think are coming back?
I think they're all back, and I'd rather not say them all because I think that what's interesting is they're only back for some people.
Right, but unfortunately.
And I think some people still feel like, nah, you know what? Maybe that's not a word I need to have in my vocabulary.
Yeah. It's not that hard to change your language. We had so many words when we were in the schoolyards as kids that we used regularly. We didn't mean anything by
Speak for yourself.
You probably more than me. We didn't mean anything bad by it. But over the course of time, people have said, these words create an uncomfortable situation for me. Stop using them. So I just use different words.
You know what?
It wasn't that hard.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'll get your opinion on something. So an ongoing situation at my kid's school. So my daughter was a kid at school who she used to be friends with. They've sort of drifted apart. And
How old are these girls?
5th grade.
Okay.
I mean, they've had like some just sort of back and forth, nothing major, but like they've had to have a lot of peace talks at school. Really mostly because I think just, when a friendship breaks up, there are hurt feelings, and sometimes people are, their feelings are whatever. My daughter does not like peace talks. She doesn't love having serious talks about anything. And so the more peace talks she had to have, the more she distanced herself from the friendship. That's actually what broke up the friendship, was the peace talks.
Well, but
if they had left her alone, I think that knowing my daughter...
But maybe they shouldn't be friends.
I agree, but maybe they should, maybe they shouldn't. But I think one of the motivating factors was, if this friendship comes with all these peace talks, I'm done. Anyway.
Well, honestly, if any relationship comes with that much work, it's probably not serving you well.
That's right. So anyway, a couple of weeks ago, somehow this other kid, I don't know what exactly happened, but essentially reported to the school that Coco, my daughter, had called her, quote, the B word.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
Jen looks shocked. We've
now-
all heard the word. It's not that big of a
Hold
deal.
on. No. Hey, finish. I want you to hear the resolution. So, resolution, we'll see. So, instead of just saying, hey, Coco, did you do this? No, I didn't. Well, she says you did. You said you didn't. I don't know what happened, but that's inappropriate to do at school, blah, blah, blah. Let it be done. Just assume she did or didn't, whatever. Just teach the lesson whether or not she said it. They launched this investigation that lasts for like 5 days, talking to all these kids. Now all these kids are involved in it, right?
Oh, my God.
It starts with, this person heard her say it. And then it went to, no, she said it directly to me. And then it went to these kids, whatever. We're in touch with the school, whatever. Coco's telling me she didn't do it. And I believe her because she'd tell me if she did it. And I did speak to the principal. I was like, let's say she did say it. So what? Like, I know it's not appropriate language at school, and I don't want her to do it, but at the end of the day, it's just a word, and it's no different than if she had just said, I don't like this person.
Right.
But whatever. So the counselor is involved. They have interviewing students. The principal's involved.
This is why the kids are so damn
hold on.
soft these days.
No, here's the problem. Coco's very upset about this.
Of course she is.
And so we get an email from the principal and the counselor separately yesterday. We finished our investigation, and we determined that Coco did not do this. We don't think it's appropriate to shame anyone about falsely reporting this. We just want to let everyone walk away with their dignity. Now, parents are talking about this. All the kids are talking about it. They're telling their parents. So, and my position is Coco walks away with no dignity.
Right.
She's being bullied on
Right.
text messages by people saying, you lied, you called her this, we don't know what happened, you did this. And the parents are all talking about it. And she's really worried that parents are going to hear that she used this language, and the friends aren't going to, her parents aren't going to let the kids hang out. And I'm like, no, this doesn't preserve her dignity. When you launch this investigation and involve the whole class, the resolution needs to be, no, this is what happened. Coco did not say this. And you can't preserve the dignity of someone who falsely accused and turn the victim into the villain here. Totally inappropriate, totally unfair. And they're just like, hey, we finished. Everyone walks away with the dignity. Great job. We're so proud of this resolution.
That's nonsense.
And they're like, everyone walks away happy and friends. I'm like, no. After your so-called peace talk, she's getting messages from people. I don't ever want to talk to you again. I think, why did you? Now, the people are the friends of the accuser. You lied. I can't believe this. And I'm like, this is really just an inappropriate investigation to begin with, involving this many people.
It's ridiculous.
But then to let it go at not then telling the kids.
If you're going to take the time to conduct a full investigation, you have an obligation to reveal the findings of the investigation to anybody who's aware of it.
Don't you? But I think the idea that they made, frankly, I would think the use of that word in 5th or 6th grade happens, I would think, all the time.
Right. And
I mean, and worse. Yes. And like you say, it is a word. It's an inappropriate word.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, they're like,
no parents should have been involved in the first place.
Parents are going to keep their children away from yours because yours used that word. That's ridiculous. Every one of these kids, they know the words, they hear the words, they say the words because you know what? Because they're human beings.
I think it's more than just the word. Who knows what else was reported? You know, was she bullying her? Whatever. And it was all false. And so my position is, no parents should have been involved. It should have been like, if you have a problem with her, you should talk to her and handle it. It is like no kids have any skills to resolve any conflict on their own. And to have 5 educators literally involved in this incident.
Well, let me ask you a question, just because you bring up the point. Is there a distinction? And you hear this all the time. And I don't know if it's just something that people say and if it means anything or not. But when somebody says, I didn't call her a B, I said she was acting like a B, and there's a difference. Is there a difference? People use that all the time. Sure. I didn't call him an a-hole.
Sure.
Oh, sure.
I said he was acting like an a-hole.
So is there a difference? Yes. Is it a meaningful difference? No, of course not.
I mean, the problem is the word, and if you're using the word in any context, you've used the word.
Yeah, I jump right to the C word. If you're going to go B, you may as well go C.
I don't see, you know what? It demonstrates.
That's my advice. Professional advice to all of you.
In fact, let's edit that out. Unless the C word is congratulations, I think.
Listen, who's making crazy rules now?
Wouldn't you demonstrate? Doesn't this demonstrate they need some real problems to deal with at Clayton?
Oh, they have problems. They're ignoring the important ones.
I mean, if they're putting this much effort and this type of scrutiny on a...
No, it's just, I think it's just indicative of how we treat all kids. They're so coddled. Yeah. They're not prepared. Well, they're not prepared to enter this real world, but I think when they are the real world, it's going to be a very different place. And you know what? It may be a much gentler place.
But you know what? I don't think it would have been handled this way virtually any place.
I don't know about that.
Wait.
My daughter, I'm not going to get into details, but she's gotten dragged into several investigations. That's what these schools do now.
Investigations that are that are minor,
that are just petty nonsense. It's like, oh, they did what every other teenage girl's been doing from the beginning of time. We get it.
Is this sandwich made of butter? Did you see that?
Did it go? It slid right through.
Wow.
Oh, that, you know what that is?
Some sort of dressing.
I think what we're looking at there
is a butter sandwich.
This is
made
called,
with butter bread.
No, this is called Back in the Saddle. Let me tell you what this is. It's not butter.
Before you do that, I want you to watch this. Let me see. We got a camera on.
All right. We have a camera on you. Go ahead and let's watch it glide through.
Yeah. In fact.
And then I'm going to explain why that's happening, because there's a reason for. Oh my.
That's a sharp knife. You don't need a bread knife.
No, you know what? I think it's just a tender sandwich. It's called Back in the Saddle.
Feel that bread.
Hold on, let me read this. It's called Back in the Saddle. It features roast beef, cucumber, red onion, and here's why it tastes like butter. It's got horseradish mayonnaise, and it's served on a Bavarian pretzel.
So just
a Bavarian, this looks very good.
Just to finish it up, you don't think that it is unreasonable for me to be upset about this resolution and kind of demand that maybe there is a different resolution?
No, that's not unreasonable at all.
Now,
this is delicious.
Hey,
hold on. Take a bite.
Let's sandwich. Okay, hold on. Let me walk away.
I'll tell you, I was really curious as to why they would put a cucumber on a roast beef sandwich. Let me tell you. That tastes amazing. And you know I normally do not eat cucumbers because they give me the cucumber burps.
Because a pickle may have taken away too much of the flavor.
You know, I mean, that's...
Wait.
Taste that.
Because the cucumber what?
It doesn't have as much flavor.
Gives you, no.
It gives you the crunch.
We've already covered the cucumber burps on the podcast.
Oh, burp.
The cucumber burps.
I like watermelon, too.
I used to. I can't eat it anymore.
What?
It gives me the cucumber burps. See, cucumbers I can't eat. I could eat pickles. I can't eat cucumbers.
Well, cucumber tastes
make me burp.
just like watermelon without the foam.
Yes.
They're not sweet.
Wait.
Exactly. So when I burp watermelon, it gives me the cucumber burps.
If you can eliminate the sweet, that's what a bad watermelon tastes like. A
cucumbers make you burp.
Listen, you get older, different foods start to treat your body differently. I don't mind it with a pickle because when you burp a pickle, it has that good flavor. But when you burp just a cucumber, it has a horrible, I may as well be burping a hot dog.
I feel like it's refreshing. Do you like coconut water?
I do like
coconut water.
Wait,
cucumber water?
I can't have that. I get the cucumber burps.
Yeah, that is nice. I would never have thought of it.
Yeah, we're onto something here, folks.
And why pretzel buns aren't used more frequently in the sandwich world is crazy.
Okay, guys, this is a delight.
It is.
That red onion works beautifully with that cucumber. And the horseradish mayo, it gives a nice flavor, but it's not like a in your nostril type of horseradish.
Was there anybody in the process who called, who came out and said maybe that we're over, analyzing?
Because Steph was in touch with a lot of the moms. And is this, tell me where you stand on this, because Coco has these kids saying, well, since we never will really know what happened, we need to just walk away from this and not talk about it anymore. And these are the people who were previously saying, Coco, how could you do this, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, you know what? Here, Coco, I will screenshot the email from the principal saying that Coco did not do this and send that to the text thread where all these kids are talking.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I mean, clearly I'm now at war with the principal, but...
Why?
Well, I agree with you.
You don't have to follow his rule.
Well, there's no rule. I just think that it would... I know how it would be taken, but... if the option is hurt the principal's feelings or leave my daughter with this resolution, there's no question.
No, not a question.
It's just stupid.
That's so crazy. They cleared your daughter's name.
Yeah.
But what's the point of
didn't tell
clearing
anyone.
it? Yeah, exactly. If you don't tell people, you didn't clear their name.
Right.
Wait, so they never sent anything out saying we determined it wasn't set?
No, just to him.
Just
That's
to
the
us.
whole point.
Yeah. And didn't tell any of the kids
No, that's
who
wrong.
they asked about it.
That's wrong.
I mean,
Terrible.
It's not like this is criminal
left it as
court.
everyone walks away with their dignity.
Please,
Was quote.
set up another meeting and I'll go. I used to be Terry Crouppen, defender of children in front of the principal. I mean, I have a lot of experience
You
with
said
it.
offender?
No,
on
defender.
other days.
Okay. Just making sure.
Between you and your
All right,
brother.
I just want to make sure that I'm not overreacting because I was hot.
No, is that what you wrote down on your phone earlier, by the way?
No.
You got something in there I know you wanted
do.
to bring up and discuss.
Yeah. That
And
was
then we got to
something
move
else.
to a hot sandwich. We've got 3 more sandwiches to go. They're all hot, and they look good. There's going to be another type of chicken. We're going to see their French dip and their Rockin' Reuben. That's become a running theme on this show is testing out different people's Reubens.
I'm
and
guessing
they do theirs very different here.
This is the dip.
That's got to be
If
the
you wanna
au jus.
do the dip.
Oh, geez.
No, what I was pushing, what I was writing down earlier, you had mentioned we were talking about like kind of the 24-hour day, the 365 days in a year. And yes, there is a clear reason for why it's a 24-hour day, why it's 365 days in the year. But I read something recently that based upon how humans, like part of the reason maybe humans don't all sleep well and
is
are
that
always
you're
not well rested is that we shouldn't be necessarily tied to the 24-hour day in terms of how we schedule work or life. And there's a suggestion that humans would be way healthier, sleep better, be more productive if instead of a 24-hour day, how we sculpt things, or how we schedule our sleep, is if you were awake for like 24 hours and then sleep for like 15 hours or something. So you're kind of doubling both because
You don't
because
think-
oftentimes they say the reason people have a harder time falling asleep is they're just not ready to sleep. They haven't been awake long enough.
They haven't watched enough TikTok videos.
Right. Well, but they say
That
that
seems
sort
to
of
be
the
in my
human
case.
But don't they? Doesn't
the human cycle is more of a stay up longer, sleep longer cycle.
then why is it done this way every place in all different groups?
Because
It's
of the
not
24-hour
actually.
day.
Yeah,
No, but it's
but it's
pretty
not.
much is.
No, it actually isn't.
Wait,
Because,
where?
No, because
guess in
you're
Europe.
looking at. Forget places. You got to look at species. If you look at, say, bears, they don't wake up and sleep on a regular schedule. They have long, extended sleeps
be
during the
telling a
winter,
bear
and they
nothing.
hibernate.
Right, but
you have
we're-
animals that are nocturnal.
But we're not bears.
No, but the point is, we're nocturnal. We have a circadian rhythm that's developed because of a
Right.
sunrise and a sunset. But what this person is suggesting is that may work for how our body works in rhythm, but in our optimal state, some people would sleep better if they were awake longer and slept longer. And that's what they're putting out as a theory.
Yeah,
it's just not how it works. Listen, the only reason why we have the time that we do is it takes 24 hours for the Earth to make a full rotation
Right.
on its axis.
But if you believe that there
this
is
knife
a certain
is-
evolution operating constantly, and every member of a species, or the great majority, do something.
give you a little extra
you
meat.
think it's for a reason. There must be some reason. I mean, that's how evolution works. There's
gave you all
a
the meat.
change or not, and it either makes the organism work better or it doesn't. The ones that don't make the organism work better are dropped out. The ones that do are kept. I mean, that's how evolution works.
This knife
Send me down
I'm a
some paper
Darwinist.
towel.
this knife is not evolutionary.
No, but I do need paper towel.
This knife is revolutionary.
I'm an evolutionary.
Is that-
You may be an Alex Jonesist.
Send me the
He would
We
say
need-
something.
before Terry sticks his thing in the au jus. Can I have that?
Yeah.
please?
Well, no, this I don't
Listen,
know.
I
If this is
wouldn't-
the au jus,
I was
but you
given.
can.
I was given a separate au jus
No, this
cup.
This doesn't
No,
look.
no, that was 2
And
episodes
This
ago.
is more of
Right,
a
but
Reuben,
then
not
the
a French
next
dip,
one,
right?
I know.
I didn't get it. I assumed I would have my
Ed?
own.
Really? Because
I
one
think
place did it one
this
way.
is a
This is
Reuben.
not.
Yes.
Is this the Reuben? This is not
Looks
the
like
dip.
it.
All right, so then save the au jus. Let me tell you about their Rockin' Reuben. This is all natural corned beef, Bavarian kraut, beer cheese sauce, Swiss cheese toasted on our famous pretzel baguette. That
It's a
sounds
very crowdy
pretty-
kraut.
What's
I like that.
natural corned beef?
What?
Natural corned beef.
I'd say all. Yeah, all natural. It means there's nothing artificial on there.
Corns itself.
It is. It's all natural. It just occurred in nature, like you're saying, through evolution.
Yeah.
You know what Ed and I were talking about the other day? That
No idea.
is one of these interesting things that you never think about.
Folks,
When you were
good corned
younger,
beef.
very good. Yeah, there's a nice little Reuben. Rewind 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. You're sitting down, and maybe you didn't do this because I know you don't like nuts, but you saw people do it.
I did. What?
They're eating pistachios.
Oh, yeah.
What color were they?
Red.
We're grown
Gone.
up. Right?
Every pistachio was
And
red.
it not only was red, the red came off
Yeah.
in your fingers.
We gotta mic you up here.
Well, I'm trying to eat.
Well,
Andy, can you
so are
pass
we.
down some paper towel?
Yeah. But it's weird how, I don't know when that happened. I don't remember noticing
Well, I know
it.
this. It had to be after The Naked Gun. Because in the movie The Naked Gun, they had that scene where he was on a stakeout eating that red pistachio after red pistachio, getting it all over his face. And then when he went to open his car door, it wouldn't open because there had been so many shells piled up outside the
I'm
door.
certain we're better off for it.
Well, that was 1988.
The dye was probably unnecessary.
Sometime from 1988 till now,
But
we completely lost red pistachios, and nobody's
no
talking
one
about
noticed.
it. Nobody
No one
noticed.
is talking about.
See,
And
that's why I have the tattoo that says,
where are the
and-
red
and
pistachios?
nobody's talking about it.
Yeah,
This is
well,
just one of those things. We lived with it, we had it, we took it for granted, and now it's gone.
you know what it reminded me of? Do you remember that Sarah Silverman song, What Happened to the White
Poop?
Dog Poop in the 70s? I remember this. When I was a
Yeah.
kid, you'd see white dog poop
it would
everywhere.
turn, it would
all over
turn
the,
white
Yeah.
after a couple of days of drying.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, when
You
you go
don't?
up and down the road. Now, back then, do you think that this is a product of the fact that now everybody's far more conscious about cleaning up after their dogs, so you're just not seeing as much dog poop? It was the food?
It was something.
Something they were putting in the food back then that they got rid of? Folks,
I
if
don't know
you
if it's the
remember the
food.
white dog poop, let's hear about it.
I don't
612, all
remember
fours.
white dog.
Have you ever seen that Sarah Silverman song?
I haven't.
I think maybe if you saw a picture.
You know, I'm a little turned off by Sarah Silverman.
How come?
Where did she go? She disappeared.
Wait, why are you turned off by... I love Sarah Silverman.
You know, the thing about with Tina and her. And Tina was a little aggressive, but she made a big deal out of it.
Well, if you're going to tell the story, tell the story.
Well, we were at a party where they had a red carpet. It was a Netflix.
It was the Tiffany Haddish bar mitzvah,
It
right?
was Tiffany Haddish's bat mitzvah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we came in, and everybody went through a red carpet, and there were a lot of movie stars there. And Sarah Silverman was there, and she comes across. Tina and I go across, and we're waiting on the other side. And she says, "Oh my God, there's Sarah Silverman! You know, she's a big fan." And she went up to her and hugged her. Tina did.
Oh,
Well, and I understand that, but Sarah Silverman made a really
There's one.
Ooh, should I answer it?
no. You're busy.
So anyway, Sarah Silverman really carried on like it was a big deal, and I'm sure to her it was, but it did not endear
But what
me
did she
to
say?
her. Personal
carry on?
space, personal
Yeah,
space.
well, don't you know?
What did I say? I said I understand.
No, but
it left me with a little bad taste about
see
her.
that
that's all.
that is the voice of entitlement.
What?
Right there.
What?
Being critical of Sarah for not wanting, because it goes back to the Kantian moral. What is it?
Imperative. The Immanuel Kant's moral, yeah.
It's what if everyone who
imperative.
saw her hugged her like that?
Well,
do you know what?
wait,
First of
hold on, hold
all,
on.
first of all, probably
Hold on.
yeah.
I can give you Yossarian's answer.
I don't know who that is. Oh, from Catch-22, yeah.
Then I'd be a fool not to do it.
No.
That's the Yossarian answer.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it right.
No, I mean, but it is an interesting
No.
point. I think so. If everybody did something,
Yeah,
then you'd be a fool not to do it too.
not true. What about murder?
But that's not a that's not an actual
generally.
philosophical
In
theory.
generally.
No, I know, but
Generally,
but in,
not murder.
That, well, but why is
Excluding murder.
hugging Sarah Silverman
Because it wouldn't
okay?
be wrong, basically. It doesn't.
No, it's
just-
very wrong.
It's a smart
You
aleck
know,
answer.
some people who really
But I like
don't
quoting-
What are you
like.
waving your phone for?
Oh, I got it. Some people are very sensitive to other people touching them as they should be. And so, and you don't know like what her background is or what kind of trauma she's had around that.
Wait.
What
I said,
yeah, but
she wasn't wrong.
Yeah,
but it just been no. You've never been put
but
off.
your clarification.
No, but you've never been put off by somebody who really had every right to do it, but it just rubbed you the wrong way. Yes,
I can't think. I'm sure I have. I can't think of a specific situation, but I do think the way you're saying it is. She wasn't wrong, but she was kind of wrong. Come on.
It struck me the wrong way. Yes. In my mind,
and I say look, that's the voice of entitlement.
Well, but let me say this. Let me make a better argument on your behalf.
Oh, thank you.
And because this speaks directly to Kant's categorical imperative, one could say that under that circumstance, when you are in your celebrity mode, you're not in your private life, you're at an opening. It's a red carpet event that is designed to generate enthusiasm amongst fans. These are invited guests. This was not just open to the general public.
That's true.
This was invited guests. Under those specific circumstances, I think, feeling like it's okay to maybe get close with a celebrity, that's kind of why they're there, is to interact with the fan base.
Thank you. I think it's a good
And
point.
if we look at Kant's categorical imperative and say anybody in that situation should be okay to feel at least a level of comfort in getting close to a celebrity. Maybe not all over them, but
it's the touching.
I think the expectation.
So let's say 250 people come up and hug her. Does she really want that?
You know what? She's working a red carpet event,
No,
which, by the way,
no. Hold on. No, she's not. She's an
invited guest to a Netflix comedy bat mitzvah.
Right, but that. She's going there. She's Jewish. She's going to a bat mitzvah. Is her she didn't invite the press.
Let me say this. This was a publicity event for a televised event on Netflix.
Correct. But
they make a lot of money on Netflix. This was a work function for her. This was not her private life.
But I'm not saying she did anything wrong. I'm just saying
a little bit.
No, I'm saying in that situation, it left me with a negative impression.
Do you think it was how close was it time-wise to when Jerry Seinfeld very famously refused the hug and pushed off the hug from Kesha? Because when that happened, Kesha, who's a fellow celebrity, so in that world, there's just an assumption that when a celebrity meets a celebrity, it's somehow okay.
Right.
She actually asked, "Can I give you a hug?" And Jerry Seinfeld said, "No, I'd rather not." He's a bit of a germaphobe, and
that's fine.
and it was weird because she was like it was strange. People never usually say no when you politely ask them, but he did, and it was he didn't know who she was. Not that it would have mattered. I don't think he would have cared, but I wonder. Could that have happened in recent time to where that instance was in Sarah's head and just had that same response,
and I do think it would have mattered, and here's why. When this is somebody you have no idea who they are, what they want from you.
But that's the
hold on.
Okay.
You don't know what she's going to do when she hugs you.
You're right.
She could touch you inappropriately.
Right.
She could harm you.
She could.
And
you
actually,
have no idea who this person is.
This is a great point to bring
up. But
up.
if it's Kesha, who you know is a celebrity, there's some built-in credibility that odds are this is not somebody here to harm you.
Now, 5 years ago, I think it would have been more acceptable. I think, honestly, since the Will Smith, Chris Rock incident, two things happened this past week where fans threw things on the stage and caused injuries. One of them fairly serious. Jamie Foxx was performing. Somebody threw a glass and hit him in the...
That was messed up. That wasn't on the stage. He was at a restaurant at his birthday dinner.
And they threw a
glass at him from the next table.
And Billie Eilish was performing on stage.
And he had stitches.
And in the middle of, her number from Barbie, the one that won the Oscar, that song that she did, which is a very quiet, intimate song. She's on... And somebody, I don't think they meant to hit her necessarily, but a fan threw something on the stage and it hit her in the face. She had to stop her thing. She was clearly upset about it.
Some people just shouldn't leave their homes.
I mean, that's the thing.
Right.
But
don't you want to throw a pair of underwear that's not going to hurt anybody?
Do you think that Will
like they
Smith,
used to do?
By so publicly and having that moment where he broke that fourth wall from the other side, he's responsible for this.
Partially for sure.
That?
And
For
let me
all
say
of
this.
these.
It is disgusting that he was not arrested on the spot, didn't have to go to court, wasn't charged with anything, didn't serve any time or community service. It is ridiculous.
It was.
It enables that. Yeah, he received the reward, which actually I'm okay with if they had still given him the reward, but he's at the precinct being booked. Yeah,
I would have been okay. I would have even been okay if they just
waited until afterwards.
If they'd have just charged him after, because in the moment with the confusion, quite frankly, most of the room didn't even know if what they had just seen was real or not. You know, like, was that staged? Was that planned? Like, you don't know what these things.
And then
you
they
got
arrested
Chris Rock's
Killer
a
Mike.
comedian.
Was that also in the same? Where did the Will Smith thing happen?
At the Oscars.
Where was it though? What city?
California, Los
Was
Angeles.
it in? Where was
Kodak
the Killer
Theater.
Mike thing? He got arrested. Yeah, was that in L.A.? Yeah. If it was the same police department and they arrested Killer Mike and not Will Smith, even worse.
But do you really need? I mean, Will Smith got what he should have.
No,
I think he got
the stakes
scored.
are higher because there's additional punishment because of who he is. But it's not like, oh, the poor guy got kicked out of the academy. There are laws in this country, and Will Smith is not above them. It sends a terrible message, and also it enables other people to do it without consequence.
Well, and I do think that's what's changed this thing. I think people. And maybe it's a product, too, of social media. People feel like their opinion is sought after more. There's more engagement. There are comments and stuff. And so I think people are injecting themselves into the show more.
I think so.
I think it's just a natural...
And going back to the thing with Tina and Sarah Silverman, which is odd, I think there's it should be a certain expectation that when you're seen by fans, the idea that a fan is going to want to hug you. And I understand you could be afraid. And you know, there have been situations. I'm not saying she's wrong. I'm just saying when a fan gets excited to be with somebody who they idolize and goes to give them a hug, I don't think that's the worst thing anybody's ever done.
It's not the worst thing.
It's not the worst, but I also don't think that Sarah being upset about it is in any way wrong. I would love it. This is one of those things. I would love some commenting on this. I would love people to weigh in. I hope we can separate this into two clips. I'd love people to weigh in on the situation with my daughter. I would love people to weigh in on the situation with Tina and Sarah Silverman.
Now there were other celebrities at that event.
Let us know.
Were there any ones that were particularly nice? I think people always like to know in those things who was really good to the
Billy
fans.
Crystal was very pleasant.
Interesting you say Billy Crystal. You know, he was just in St. Louis. He was.
He didn't call.
He was at the Stan Musial Awards.
Oh, was he?
Where Bob
he's a big
Costas
baseball fan,
was
right?
getting the Lifetime Achievement Award, and Billy Crystal was on hand to present it. He did a really nice job.
Is he a big baseball fan, Billy
Tremendous.
Crystal? Yeah, that's what
He was
so
very
big that even
pleasant.
in the Ken Burns baseball documentary, Billy Crystal's heavily in there.
And I think
he and Costas are very close friends, and they both shared a tremendous idolhood
Is
of
Costas Jewish?
Mickey Mantle. No.
Could be.
Oh, his love of baseball.
Yeah, I mean, stuff
now
like
this,
that.
all right, I got to read what this is because this is the chicken in the field. This is all natural grilled chicken breast topped with garlic spinach artichoke spread. It does look like just like spin dip. And then you've also got roasted tomatoes, red onion, and the bread is a 3-cheese focaccia. You know, call me crazy. And I'm not here to poop on Panera. But when St. Louis Bread Company first opened, they took a lot of pride in their variety of breads that they could make and sell and put their sandwiches on. I don't feel like that's as part of their thing anymore. Whereas Companion, I still feel like takes tremendous pride in their bread. Like Union Loafers takes tremendous pride in their breads. What happened to a place? I mean, it's the St. Louis Bread Company.
We talked about this with Capriati's. I think what happens is you start with the best of intentions. You want to put out the best possible product you can, and you do that for a long time. And then you get to a point where the business plateaus. And in the upper regions of the business, they say, how can we make this business more profitable? Instead of saying, we're putting out a great product, we're firing on all cylinders, we're making a lot of money, you can't fix what ain't broke, don't change a thing. Instead, they say, hey, if we have one less bread offering, we're going to save $600,000 a year. And then if we offer one less jelly in 2,500, you know what I mean? And I think that's what happens. They chip away. And then all of a sudden, they have a more profitable business for a short period of time before the public realizes it's a lesser product. And then the business kind of runs its course instead of just trying to maintain.
That's why eventually
quality.
Domino's had to acknowledge that their pizza sucked. They ran all those commercials saying, we're starting from scratch.
You know,
we know we
the New
stink.
York crust Domino's is surprisingly good.
I have one more thing to say.
I mean, it's not New York pizza,
No, I understand.
but for
I'm not
Domino's,
done.
it's good.
with the Sarah Silverman thing.
All right, he's back.
Being, and you may have experienced this too, being a very small local celebrity. I have been hugged.
Who doesn't mind people hugging them?
No, I'm just saying the way I take it is very
He's
different.
looking for hugs,
and,
folks.
And, and so that to me, I have a
Okay, but the next time
baseline.
you see Terry, just jump up to him and start hugging
I have
him.
a
Let's see how
baseline
many times
where
that
it's
happens
okay.
before he becomes Sarah
but the
Silverman.
I'm not
thing
saying
is
she's wrong.
But it's like one person loves beer and one person hates beer.
Right.
You know, it's just people
not
feel
your issue.
differently about things. And
Now-
also, you are also a large man, and she is a very slight woman
No,
who is.
She's not that slight. She's a big girl.
Oh, okay. Now you're insulting her.
No,
Hey,
I'm
just saying
just
she's
saying
not- she's not a-
she's not
wow.
a diminutive
Yeah,
little
she's-
woman.
yeah, she's not a pixie.
She's
I would
very
bet Sarah.
tall.
She looks like
she's
she has
tall,
height.
but she's slim.
But she's,
course
I
she's
bet-
slim.
Let me say
she's
this.
close to 6 feet
She
tall.
is not going to fend off an attacker in the same way that you would have in your prime.
Now,
Yeah.
I will say this. Let's say this about Sarah Silverman.
When would
For
that
me
have been? When
personally,
did that
I think,
end?
all right, but I think she's hysterically funny. Comedy-wise, I think she's great. Now, speaking of funny women, we did see
I can
hold on.
kick both your asses.
Oh, please.
over there.
You can't even get out of the booth.
Once I get out.
You'd have to catch us first.
I mean, we should run the video for when he's got to get out of the booth.
Well, yeah, that's because you had a terrible
A
setup.
lot of
there.
obstacles.
But I could be both of them.
Okay, that's fine. But let me say this.
I'm not in my pocket.
We were at a fundraiser recently, and Nikki Glazer was there, and she could not have been nicer. She was so engaging with the crowd, but so unassuming. If you just were making conversation, pictures, arm around, smiling, funny faces, I thought she was a delight.
But I think that's sort of the rap on her. People, I think, really like her as a person because I think she's just sort of a down-to-earth, real person, kind of unassuming, super cool.
That's good.
Now, I will say this. I loved Nikki Glazer, so taking nothing away from Nikki Glazer.
Yeah.
But I really loved Nikki Glazer's parents. In fact, so
they're very
Nikki
nice
was there.
people.
It was a friend of mine's house who knows Nikki. And that's why she was there. I literally just texted him 3 days ago asking if her parents had been asking about me. Maybe wanted to invite me to a holiday party.
I'm going to take a wild stab and say they have not.
Wait, did they? What do they do? What does the father do?
I think he's retired.
But they lived in St. Louis.
They still do.
Yeah.
They live in like the what area is that? De Pere. It's not too far from St. Clement's Parish.
So Mr. and Mrs. Glazer, if you're
Now do it
listening,
by parishes.
St. Louis. I just thought more people
Yeah.
would know areas by
What,
parish.
St. Clements, is that on Bope Road?
Off of Bope. I think they're just a few streets
Remember,
away
we
from
lived
there.
on Bope
yeah, I was just
Road,
going to ask
remember?
you. I drove through that neighborhood about a year ago because I had dropped off one of the kids at the MAC out there and had an hour to kill, and it's not that far. And I think I found the house. The neighborhood looks very, very different from
I know
what
I know where it is.
I
It's
remember.
way in
The street.
I didn't know that you guys ever lived out there.
Yeah,
Have
we
you
were
driven
there
through
about
there?
18. Yeah,
The streets are very tight.
yeah. No, it's.
I don't remember
I
it
know
being
how
so
to get.
compact.
It's on like a dead end. It was a nice house.
How long were you there?
Carol
2
did
years.
not like it. She felt very isolated, so we moved to Clayton.
Yeah,
But it was
Well,
nice. They went to Ladue schools.
Oh, that's an old one. I think we've worked our way through all the sandwiches. Anybody
wait.
want seconds?
We never had the French dip.
Oh,
I'm stuffed. I don't
was
know
in a
that I can.
box.
I don't know that I can get another bite down, but it's so good.
But
I
you
mean,
will.
You know from watching too. If you start seeing me cleaning my plate, that's when you know.
Okay, so the French dip was in a box, so I did not heat it. So we're going to have to wait about... I'm going to remedy the situation.
I don't care. You can eat a French dip cold.
How dare you?
This little spinach artichoke business is pretty good.
No, it's all been good.
I eat this. I don't drink any alcohol, but somehow when I keep eating all these sandwiches, I start feeling a little drunk.
Well, you can. You know,
Can you?
you can get food drunk, sure.
I'm feeling
I get
drunk.
that way.
You get what?
Food drunk.
I got some spinach artichoke.
You know, you eat a bunch of
See,
sugar
if my
and
toaster
stuff.
oven was right
It's right
next
here.
to me.
Life would be different.
Yeah. I wonder if we can get like a GoPro that can handle the heat. Just toss it in that oven.
Look at that.
Oven cam.
Okay. We got the holidays coming up.
I will say this. I'm
You
gonna
in
need to-
California?
we are going to Florida.
When are you leaving?
I'd rather not disclose my travel plans publicly. I mean, we're staying
Well,
here,
remember what
and we have a
happened
lot of guns.
to Patrick Mahomes, you know, and all these football players when people knew they were going to be gone.
Yeah, I'm just going
every
for
Sunday.
like
They're on the field.
I
24
I
hours.
have a full-size gorilla that lives in the house.
Is that?
I have a spring gun on every door.
Remember
open that door?
Is that only something in law school?
I've never heard the term elsewhere.
Yeah.
So when you go to law school, it's a very famous case where somebody,
guy
I think,
set
to
up a
protect his home or something like that, set up a gun and connected the trigger
To a
to the
window?
door or
Yeah,
window. So when the person opened the door or window,
would fire.
it shot them and maybe killed them. I don't remember.
Yeah, what
But
happened? What was the
he claimed it was, I guess, self-defense
Yeah,
or
it was
something, but
no
it
good.
wasn't
You
because
cannot have a spring-loaded gun.
you cannot defend property with mortal
Deadly force, yeah.
Now you
force.
can.
No, you
Wait, I
can't.
think
Only
the-
if you
the-
are there.
Technically, you can't.
You can't. You
Again,
is
with the Supreme
you have
Court,
to
who
you
be
can
knows?
there.
stand your ground
Yes.
because you're there,
But you have to be
still
there.
cannot just and of course not. Like if no one is home, you should not be able to set up a spring or if you're upstairs.
What if it's a girl selling Girl Scout cookies or something? I mean, people come to doors. If you go, someone goes to
That's
open
right.
a door
and
to leave a leaflet, and they
for
get
you-
shot.
For my fellow Second Amendment people, that
The
can
problem,
change.
No, because how many
it
times,
couldn't
how easy
possibly
is it
change.
to
The problem
forget?
isn't owning it. The problem is using it.
How easy is it to forget to unset it? I mean, it's stupid. But anyway, that's a very, very famous law school thing.
you never hear
a
about a
spring gun.
spring
Yeah,
gun.
you never
know
hear
what
about
I'm
it
surprised
elsewhere.
about is I'm surprised nobody's ever said, you know what, there's no constitutional right to shoot a gun, because there is none. There's a constitutional right to bear a gun, but there's no constitutional right to shoot a gun. I'm surprised the people on the left haven't made more out of that.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to any.
Why? There's a big difference between gun ownership and using one.
Yeah, but we don't see it that way.
Well, only because there's nobody that's really made that into a central issue.
So you think if you could get that word to somebody?
Well, there is
we
no
could-
constitutional right to shoot a gun because that would, I guess, a right would have to be somewhat absolute, and there are very limited circumstances under which you can shoot a gun.
You know, exactly. Now, I will say that and that's the other thing too. This came up last night at our attorney dinner, and just for the sake of people that are watching, I own a lot of guns. I have a very large gun collection, and I shoot frequently. I'm not a hunter, but I like going target
Me
shooting.
too.
So I am not anti-gun in any way. That said, I did bring up the point that there really is no Second Amendment issue in this country. We all know what it says, and we accept the fact that it allows some people to own a gun. But the reality of it is, look at all of the limitations that are already there. Like, it doesn't say in the Second Amendment that you have to be over a certain age, but the law says you have to be. How is that not unconstitutional? It doesn't say that a felon can't own a gun, and yet we have laws that say you can't have a gun if you're a felon. So the point is that...
Wait, but that's not how the Constitution works.
No, but...
I mean, if the
No, it does.
Constitution-
Actually, it does.
No, if the
No, it
Constitution
absolutely does.
not prohibit or give a certain thing, if it's totally not in the Constitution, then the Constitution really has no say in it.
Well, no, you're missing my point. The Second Amendment says that you have the right to bear arms as a U.S. citizen, right?
And it says you
now,
don't have the
you have the
right
right to bear
shoot.
arms. But the thing is that not all arms. You can't go out and buy a grenade.
You can't get a rocket
You can't
launcher,
get a
right?
rocket launcher.
Well,
you can't get a tank.
Let me say this.
I can't get a nuclear weapon.
You can go out and buy a grenade.
Not legally.
No, but I bet there's one for sale within 8 miles
But what
of where
I'm
we
saying
sit.
is that
remember
we've
the guy
already
at-
accepted.
at a locksmith.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Well, at a
No.
locksmith, he wanted to sell me a case of grenades.
Okay.
He had.
No,
Okay,
no,
my
I think
point
you can
is
get those.
that the debate really isn't a Second Amendment debate. The debate is where are people comfortable drawing a line? Like, we already have
Right.
background checks. Like, they're not extensive. There are loopholes, but like
The guns?
it already exists. We do. Every time you buy a gun, they have to send in a thing to
No.
the FBI, and you have to get clearance to sell. I mean, every time I buy a gun, they have to do
But
it.
they're like when you buy them at gun shows, that was the
No,
big
that's
thing.
the gun show loophole. You don't have to do it at a gun
Right.
show. But that's my point is that we have all already accepted that there are limitations. We've done it by age, by competency, by your felon status, by which type of weapon, certain ones you can get, certain ones you can't. We don't want a 6-year-old mentally challenged child to have a nuclear weapon, right? But technically, the Second Amendment does not speak to any of that. It just says that U.S. citizens have the right to bear arms.
Wouldn't it be like, so you have to be 21 to buy alcohol. So you go to Schnucks, you want to buy beer, you walk up to the counter, you're 16 years old, they say, get out of here. But you can drive 2 miles down the road, and what if at a beer show, no, you don't need to show ID and you're 16, so you just drive to the beer show because you're 16 and you buy all the alcohol you want.
I'd go to the beer show. Listen, I would.
Of course you would, but my point is that's
No,
crazy.
But it is. But my point is that the debate
And you
really
wouldn't go to the
is
beer
not,
show, you don't like beer.
But when people point and say the Second Amendment, it's a little silly because it's already been so diluted with regulation. There are a million regulations that we've already accepted.
But that doesn't mean
to the rule.
But that does not mean that there's not one more regulation ever that is worthy of adding.
No, I agree with that completely. I'm not taking
I
a
see what you're
position on
saying.
this at all. What I'm saying is
Right.
that, like, the debate is no longer the Second Amendment says
'Cause it's not absolute.
We've already decided that what about on school property? What about in churches? What
Yeah.
about in banks? What
Yeah.
about in supermarkets? Like, there are already a million different rules and regulations, and they're not against the Second Amendment. They've all been looked at. They've been challenged, and those limitations have all been accepted.
Yeah.
So now it's really not a Second Amendment. It's just a question of what
Where
are
you
we
draw
willing
the
to
line.
accept or
Yeah.
not accept? Where do we draw the line?
Now back to the beer show. Not
The guy
only
wants a
do you
beer
not
show.
like beer, it made me remember, because I think this is a pretty surprising thing. Am I correct that you never in your life have drank a full beer?
I've never drank a full beer.
Ever?
I can't get one down. I have tried it on 3 different occasions. Because I revisit
That's
the
right.
first time I tried it, I hated it. I'm like,
Cucumber lager.
I thought it was a joke. I thought somebody had given me a can of piss. And then sometime after that, somebody had convinced me that I must have just had a really bad one. I must have been skunky. It was Meisterbrow. Try this one instead. This is the good one. I tried that. That tasted terrible. I thought everyone was playing a joke on me. And then years later, I thought, maybe my taste buds have evolved. Maybe
long-
I just needed
how
to
long
be
ago was
older.
this?
Probably 15 years. I haven't tried in 15 years. And I tasted it again, and I'm like, no, I don't understand. I got screwed.
Wait,
Everybody else is loving this
Isn't
crap.
this the experience everybody goes through when they don't like
Yeah,
something?
then what are you doing at the beer show?
Right. Well,
Jen
I'm
wants to know.
there because I'm a rebel.
Yeah.
And
What are you
don't tell
saying,
me I
Tara?
can't have something
No,
if I
mean,
want
he's
it.
just describing.
Okay, Pee Wee Herman.
I don't like something. That's the exact.
Wait, I didn't hear what you said.
That would be the exact thing anybody would say about something they don't like. You just don't like it.
I don't like it.
You're not going to like it. You
I
haven't
know.
liked it.
I feel like I got screwed.
but there's
Everybody
but
else is
you have-
enjoying an ice cold, frosty one.
You're very experimental in terms of what you'll eat.
Oh, there's 2.
That's two.
All right, we're working our way there.
It's the same person too.
It must be one of those pseudo emergencies.
Ooh, 557 area code.
Oh my! Where's the 557
Oh,
area code?
you'll appreciate
Folks, if you
this.
know where that is, 612-444-4444.
These knives, I'm a victim of an Instagram repetitive ad.
They got you.
Coolina knives.
You know what? I think I saw the ad for that. I
Now
did
you
not
will.
buy any knives because I don't have any place to put them.
Don't. I've got plenty. I don't know if we ever got to this, but last week I had a note to talk about, because we were talking about right before the episode, our thoughts on when you go to a concert and they make you lock your cell phone into a bag. You had very strong feelings, I think, about this.
I felt it
and
was
most things.
I felt it was only appropriate at a comedy show.
I agree.
Because, you don't want to ruin the jokes. They're preparing their material for a special. So that made sense. Why a musician would want you to lock up your phones is beyond me.
tell you
that's
why.
earned media.
Hey, I'll tell you why. I think, and why I think it's actually a good thing, as big of a pain in the ass as it is. I think that, and I think there should be restaurants that should do it, because I believe
Restaurants do what?
Take your phone.
Take your phone. Because I think that cell phones have destroyed so much of what is probably not just pleasurable, but probably important in terms of human behavior and interaction, that I think musicians, if you're always on your phone, you're not focusing on the music, you're not dancing. It's like people who take video of fireworks on the 4th of July, and you're going to watch a video on your phone of some stupid fireworks when there's 1,000 of them on the YouTube already? No, just sit there and enjoy the fireworks. Stand there and sing and dance and pay attention and enjoy the show. Don't be on your stupid phone and recording it and being everybody's face with your big stupid. You ever see somebody at a concert with their iPad recording it? I mean, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Enjoy the show. Be in the moment.
But it's progress.
Well, no.
I
But
mean,
if you're an artist,
it's really
but if
not
you're an
progress.
artist who is pouring your soul out and performing, I can understand how you would say, no, put your phone away, jackass. Either don't come or put your phone in a bag and pay attention to what you paid for, and don't distract everyone around you with your stupid
you know what
phone.
you're like? You're like the guy who went to the telegraph station and said, "Where are the Pony Express riders?
No.
I'm waiting for my message."
No, I'm not,
just
because
saying,
I'm not the musician. I'm saying why they would like it
but
and
all,
why I think
all
it's okay.
advances aren't good, I guess.
I know if I were a
Like a
musician,
nuclear
you would
weapon.
think
We didn't
I would be
need 'em.
flattered by people wanting to record it. That's flattering. And knowing that they're going to post it is going to draw more attention to my music, maybe sell more records, maybe sell more concert tickets. Like the opportunity to get that kind of free earned media from people going out there promoting my shows would be way more valuable
I
to
wonder
me.
how many singers do it.
But then you are a business person, not an artist, or more of a business person than the artist. I think it comes from a place of being an artist, of being a creative, of saying, I don't care about the promotion. I don't
We know
care
what that
about the
bell
free
rings,
media.
folks.
That's right.
That bell's
I care
screaming
about
French dip.
I care about you enjoying the art that I am presenting to you. That's what's important. Thank you. I appreciate you being a part of my marketing
why do
team.
they have to confiscate your phone? If you go to a Broadway show and they say, please turn off all your phones and put them aside, no recording is allowed, and nobody ever violates that. You go to any,
you always see.
You go to the Fox Theater here in St. Louis, and it's a Broadway show that's playing at the Fox.
You see people on their phone all the time. Not recording this.
recording.
No, but when you're on and the light is bright, it's distracting. I've seen several fights at the Fox over somebody who wouldn't get off their phone and the light.
I went to an event. I won't say what, but I was at an event where they had the best enforcer who was keeping his eyes out to make sure nobody was using their phones at all. He had one of those high-intensity flashlights.
Yeah.
So he's working like an usher, but he doesn't have to interrupt. He had that thing. That thing was like a laser, like a
What
gun.
kind of you can't tell
I
me?
want you to
we're not gonna
disclose
talk
the event.
I'm not interested in discussing it on air, but I will say that he took this flashlight like it was a gun, like boom.
Yeah.
And the second he detected light from someone's phone anywhere, he'd shame you and boom, with precision had a spotlight right on your face, and then you'd look up all dazed and you say, phone.
I'm having a very hard time concentrating on what you're saying because I just want to get to, you don't have to tell me the event, but could we talk a little bit about why you don't want to disclose it? Would you be embarrassed that you attended the event?
No.
Was it
no,
a secret?
No.
Did you hug Sarah Silverman?
No, I didn't do any of those things. Well, it's the same reason why you don't want to let everybody know when you're leaving for Florida. You have some things.
You're afraid
belong-
somebody will invent
Listen,
a time machine
some
and go
things-
back and rob you
no,
there?
Some things are just for you.
For me?
Yeah. Like,
So you're going to tell me?
I'll tell you later.
You'll tell me off air?
Are you going to tell me?
Oh, I would. Of course, I would.
Okay,
It's just
all
not
right.
for public consumption. It's not a big deal. You're making it way more dramatic than it needs to.
No,
be.
you are.
It's fairly dramatic.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, we'll get to it.
If you guys have a guess as to what event I might have been
it's
at,
a
perhaps
meeting-
you were there
it's a
and you
meeting
saw
of the
the usher
Communist
with the
Party.
flashlight. Let us know at 612 all fours.
I'm going to go get the French dip, and I've got an idea. Every once in a while, I like to share an idea
All right.
with you guys. And this is one I've had for many, many years, and I still think it's brilliant.
Oh, my.
We'll,
As I think all my
we'll
ideas
shoot
are.
that down.
Yeah.
We'll destroy that.
Let me load up the shotgun.
We'll turn that into a load of crap.
Pull. Oh, my God. Folks,
What is this
wrapped in
now?
that foil, that is their French dip.
This is a French dip.
Now, I got to be honest, I am stuffed to the gills.
Yeah, it's not
And
fair.
unfortunately, because of the delay, you know how the mind, it takes the body about 20
Yep.
minutes to catch
It
up
caught
being
up?
full. It caught up, and I mean,
in
I
a
am
big way.
Yeah, big time. Like I honestly feel like I am going to keel
Is that
over.
my plate?
I have no idea.
Put 'em on my plate.
Because you know what though? But to their credit, you've now seen me have 4 sandwiches. There's not one bite left over on this plate. You almost never see that. So you know it's
true.
the goods.
That's true.
That said, you're not going to see that happen with me in the French dip, and it's a shame because it
Watch
looks
this
amazing.
knife just
You like
slice
French
right
dip?
through it.
Yeah.
I got nothing left in me.
The
I don't
shark.
even think I can try it.
You know, I ordered 4
can take a
knives from
bite.
this place.
I don't know if I can,
Just
man.
a taste, a little.
I don't
taste.
know.
I ordered 4 knives. One of it you should see. I mean,
So what are
That's
those,
it. That looks
magnetic?
like a
How are they
clean-
adhesing?
well, they're metal, and that's metal, and that's
like
a magnet.
That's like
Oh,
a
that's a magnet. That's what I
cleaver.
said.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
is, but
magnet.
it's kind of light, and I think I'll get the same thing. But I think I'm going to send it back because I think I ordered 4 from the same place, and while they're sort of quirky and I like them, I've since found some other knives that I think I would rather.
Are you
add
good
to the
about sending
collection.
things back?
No,
I'm so
horrible.
bad at sending things back.
I wonder how many
But
things don't get sent back. And
most
many.
of them. But my wife is. I'm not sure what word to use, but insanely good at sending things back.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it's
to the
good.
point where if I don't send it back, she is harassing. Hey, you want me to send that back for you? Hey, can I send it back for you?
Oh, she'll do it.
Oh, she'll harass me
Oh, maybe
got
I'll
nothing
bring
in
some
me.
things
to the
up.
point where I
I got
almost
nothing
don't
in
want to
me.
send it back just because she harasses me so much about it. No, I'm not going to send the damn thing back.
You know what? I wonder if there's a business to be had in that. I bet you there's a lot of people that don't want to send stuff back.
There is eBay. People
And-
sell it.
No, but what you can do is right, exactly, is set up a business where you're like all that stuff that you bought that you don't want to send back. Give it to me. I'll sell it on eBay, and we'll split the proceeds 50-50.
Well, there are places that
Yeah, but
or
I
at
mean,
least
but
there
who's-
used to be.
Yeah, but there are people that will sell
aiming-
stuff on eBay. But I'm aiming specifically
Yeah,
for
at non-returned
you bought it,
items.
You don't want to return
Yeah.
it because it's a hassle, or it's past its time to
If
return.
you could send them a box with postage to you,
Yeah.
that would help.
Oh, you
yeah.
know, speaking of, I don't know if they still do this, but I thought this was an interesting thing.
Jen?
I believe that Amazon. Now, here's what you do, Tara. See, you already bit into it. I'll give you a new sandwich.
Well,
Take
I'm
a fresh
sorry,
one.
You gave it.
You take
and
a
you put
fresh
it on
one.
my plate.
You dip, get a big, nice dip
Oh.
that you haven't bitten out of yet.
Okay. I don't know. I just got carried
Hmm.
away because I had my own.
What this? What?
I like that.
That.
Oh, Terry's cup. All right, I wasn't able to eat the whole thing, but I was able to taste the au jus with the bread, and of course,
It's
as
great.
you would imagine, as
I like
delightful.
a wet sandwich. So here's the idea. You take just pure necessities, things that everybody needs: toilet paper, toothpaste, toothbrush, floss, those types of things.
I'm still waiting for you to name something I need.
Feminine products, things that every person has to buy. They're just absolute necessities, right? And you create a St. Louis business that manufactures those and only sells them in St. Louis, branded with St. Louis, only hire St. Louisans. It's all done locally, distributed locally, which also cuts down on a lot of marketing, cuts down on a lot of transportation expenses. And you just create quality products made by St. Louisans in St. Louis.
But is there enough
sold
money in
in
that?
St. Louis? Well, I don't know.
I mean, those feel like the kind of products that you need to create in such volume to get a price down.
I don't know. I think in a city like this, because you don't need to make a fortune, because it's a different profit model, because it could almost even be a nonprofit. And the point of it is you are creating a ton of jobs in St. Louis. You're creating you're increasing the economy here, because that money, once the products are bought and you're paying people, it could be like the Green Bay Packers. It's an employee-owned company. There'd be a ton of jobs. There'd be a ton of money that comes into the local economy. There'd be a huge incentive to buy these products by everyone here. I just think, and you could replicate that in a lot of cities. I just think it would create a lot of jobs and a lot of opportunity and increase economies in places. You could headquarter it downtown where there are all these buildings that need something done with them. I just think there'd be a lot of advantages.
I think that the sentiment is a nice sentiment. I think your heart's in the right place. I don't know enough about that business to know how the
I don't know the economics yet.
You know, that's
Of course, that's
the
kind of
challenge.
important.
How expensive could it be to make good toilet paper?
Are you kidding? Toilet paper? I mean, it looks like, I don't know how you get a tree and make it into toilet paper.
It's amazing.
It seems like
it's amazing what people have been able to figure out.
They make it into pulp.
I know, but even just to know that, like I do this all the time, but for you guys, food for thought. Think about what they had to do to figure out how to brew a cup of coffee. Because the beans, the coffee beans, you start off, somebody had to first figure out that they weren't poisonous, because a lot of beans are. Yep. Then they had to figure out, okay, we gotta roast these beans, because when they're raw, they don't taste the way that we have gotten accustomed to. So somebody had to figure out how to roast them. Then somebody had to have the idea to say, well, you know what, we'll get more flavor out of these if we grind them. Then they had to take it all away from that phase, and then they had to grind it. Then they had to say, you know what, we can run hot water through it and get some good flavor off of it, but now we got all this grit in it. We got to figure out some way to filter this, to strain this. All of that just to get a drink that, quite frankly, black coffee is divisive. Some people love it. Some people don't have a taste for bitter. So you have to have found somebody who naturally would have had a taste for that. And then ultimately down the road, people added cream, sugar, whatever.
Now imagine how they figured out open heart surgery or brain surgery.
Yeah, you know what though? But as crazy as it is,
you think making coffee's harder?
Well, I mean, just as
it makes
the number of
makes
steps
less sense.
Yes, that's the thing. That is the thing.
You know what I mean? To figure you got a terrible pain inside you. I think even I could say, well,
but you got no idea what's in there.
No,
yeah,
but
let's go look
you
it
get
in there
bodies.
and see what's
There were
what.
a lot of bodies back then.
Yeah.
You know, their bodies were, anatomy was something.
The fact that they didn't give up anywhere along the journey. You know, like you bite into a raw coffee bean, it's disgusting. There's nothing good there.
It must have been by accident. I'm
Some
guessing
kind of
there
fluke.
was a fire someplace that roasted a bunch of beans.
And somebody said that smells
And then
good.
somebody was sort of either biting on, and they dropped it into some boiling water. I mean, that's how a lot of these things just change.
Coffee is very aromatic in that it's one of those things that has a lot more scent than actual taste.
Yeah. Oh,
just
coffee
the opposite
like
of
it smelled.
That would be the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah. I mean, and
But I
love
think
coffee.
you're right. It was probably a fire that got that good smell
But
in the
you know
air.
what? I cannot imagine that I live on the same planet with people that like black coffee.
Oh, you do?
I think
You're in
black
the same
coffee,
room probably
I
with
just
them.
I don't understand how that tastes good to anybody.
There you go. She's 10 feet from you.
And
She
yet
loves
it does.
it.
No, I know that. But it's so, it's a flavor that is so uninteresting to me that, I mean,
I would think it's more than uninteresting.
I mean,
it's
I would.
gross to you.
I wonder if I was,
It's acidic.
if that's the only fluid that I could get.
Would you die?
No, I think I'd drink it, but
You'd get used to it. You'd squeeze your nose. You know, you squeeze your nose, you can't really taste anything.
Yeah.
If that's how you died, you're not much of a survivor.
That's right. What happened? It was dehydration. Didn't anybody give him any coffee?
That's
They
right.
offered him coffee. He wouldn't drink it.
He had a barrel of coffee and a barrel of peanut butter. How did he die?
That was it.
I couldn't eat either one of them.
I know. We sent him these supplies. It should have been enough to last a year.
No, when you figure out, when you're at the end of
was
a
dead in 4
long
days.
train of manufacturing to get something.
Is this like an analogy?
No,
to,
no,
of,
no.
of life?
Virtually, it's impossible to think how you would have started. You know, like lobster. Who ever thought that was something good to eat? You know, it was
And
like
become a delicacy.
the biggest bug.
Wasn't
I-
lobster originally like peasant food? I thought it was
Probably. A lot of the things start off
bottom
that
dwellers that got caught in nets or something.
way. Yeah, a lot of that was the extras when they were catching the fish for the
but
rich.
they're
Then it all flipped.
You know, a lobster is
Right.
essentially a large bug.
It's a
I
bug.
mean, you know.
It's a bug.
Bug of the sea.
I
Delicious
remember-
bug of the
I
sea.
don't.
I
Yeah,
remember
not for
Lobster
me.
yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah,
Delicious,
not me,
yeah.
I
not for
remember
me.
diving,
Must be nice.
and a lobster came after me, and it was scary.
They're
When they don't have those
Yes,
rubber
they are.
bands on, they are sharp.
That's true.
I was, that was a little known fact about me, but I did spend a summer working as a fishmonger.
Oh, yeah.
And during that time period, I had to handle lobster every day. I had to constantly steam them, and they scream when you steam them. We tell ourselves that it's just the
Sissies.
sound of the pressure
Yeah.
air going through their
It's the lobster.
the little cracks and crevices, but it's not. They're
With
screaming.
lobsters, I'm the exact opposite of you with eggs. I love to eat them, but I cannot cook them.
Yeah.
I would
You mean,
not.
You mean
No.
the death? The killing
Yeah, I
them.
wouldn't throw a live lobster into boiling water, but I don't mind if a friend
It
cooks one
turns
for
out
me.
I would do it, and I was doing it for $5.65 an hour.
When $5.65 an hour meant something.
It meant
Like,
something,
it was
yeah.
like $7, like
That was better than the minimum wage. That was $1 more than I made in Delhi.
Yeah.
As a meat cutter.
Think about
Another
it.
thing people know. I was in the meat cutter union.
Yeah, he's a union man.
I was a union man. I was.
Yeah.
Yes, people don't know. They think they know when they see where you are today.
ever
What do you
go
think?
Where you are today doesn't tell you where you've been.
You ever break a strike? As a
No, I
member?
wouldn't. I wouldn't break a
wouldn't.
strike.
He's
Did
no
you ever
scab.
go
I'm no
on-
scab.
Did you ever go on a strike?
I wanted to go on strike so bad, but they just, we didn't have any issues.
He was trying to create issues.
I mean, I was getting a sweet $5.65 an hour. I was not in a
he was
position to
cutting the
complain.
lines to the refrigeration units. He was hoping to start
He
trouble.
was writing cards to management.
I became a kind of an expert.
You got
in
anything
a
else?
variety of
I feel
things.
like we've reached a
Wait, I
natural.
want to mention
I'll
one
keep
thing.
talking,
One
yeah. Go.
person commented on our on our sandwich podcast.
Was it poor?
From the
No,
millions.
No, one made a negative comment, and I responded to it. I haven't checked to see if they replied.
What was the negative comment? Well,
Basically,
go to hell.
like these guys aren't food experts. Who are they to be judging food? And my only response was like, dude, it's sandwiches.
Yeah.
We're not on here. This isn't Chopped. I'm not evaluating whether somebody used the correct
Right.
technique and how they took their duck skin and
Why
got it
don't
nice
you
and
come
crispy.
down here and say that?
I think
Yeah,
they,
I'm like, dude, it's sandwiches. We bite them and we say we liked it or we didn't like it. I apologize if that doesn't qualify as some type of an expertise.
I think
but
that's someone who has missed the point of the show.
I think they have.
They've lost the thread.
point
They've
of
lost the
show.
thread. And listen, as soon as you figure out what the point of the show is, let us know.
Yes, our mission statement.
Yeah, we want to know that.
It
Anyway,
runs
though,
like
so
80
yeah,
pages.
bear in mind that, guys. Yeah. And you know what? You too can be a sandwich expert. All it takes is you biting into a sandwich and telling us if you like it or not.
It's a good knife. I'm very, very happy with that.
There you go.
knife.
Well, there it is. We've covered it all, folks. We've covered it all.
And anytime you want to come down, Ed Herman, who's in his prime, will take care of it.
That's right. You can-
Unfortunately,
He's got a lot of
Listen,
guns.
well, I can beat the two women up. That's as far as I
if
go.
you
There is
see me-
unless you're a woman.
Wait. No chance.
I could beat Jenna.
If you see me
No.
in public,
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding?
Jen Bug,
You are
could not.
insane.
Oh my God, folks, this could be a pay-per-view. This man Listen, no
Wait,
knock
what-
on
what
you.
kind
You're
of-
79.
wait,
You
what
barely
kind of-
got
what
any.
kind of-
She does yoga.
wait.
I've seen her hold herself up with her hand.
That's fine, but I'd beat her up.
No.
Wait,
No.
would you wrestle? How about a wrestling match?
No.
No.
How about this?
Any
What,
physical.
How about this?
What, we're having
any
a bare
physical-
knuckle fight? She's
Hey,
not
how
gonna
about
do
this?
Even
that.
in a thumb wrestle, I take Jen Bug.
Yeah, it would be a no rules,
What?
all out, whatever discipline of fighting you want to use, MMA, however you want. The odds makers.
Just wrestling.
Jen is a
Just wrestling.
She will
Just
break you
high-
in half.
high school wrestling.
She won't be quite Mike Tyson.
High
I
school
don't think
wrestling.
you'll die. High school wrestling.
Hey, I want you.
Folks, if you're interested in seeing Terry Crouppen wrestle Jen Bug, 612-444-4444.
I think what you meant to
Let
say
us
if
hear
you're
about it.
if you're also interested in seeing Terry wrestle. Jen-
Oh, wait a second.
Oh,
That's three.
three. Oh,
we better
man.
go ahead and wrap the podcast right here. The final answer was 3, so
Yeah.
it was the
Ed
under.
wins. Ed
I'll
wins.
take the win on that.
All right.
We
Like,
will see you-
subscribe.
Yeah.
And you know what?
I wonder if Dana
Oh,
White
really? So it was a wash? I didn't hear the text message. Oh, that's right.
Oh, well, you can't send
Of
me
course,
a
because she
message.
wasn't sending it for the noise.
But yeah, but she knew
Oh,
it would
there it
create
is.
a noise.
No, but she needed
All right,
to send
we'll
a
call
message.
It, we'll
Well,
call
then
it a
she
draw.
Yeah.
And with that,
And, and
are we filming next
if,
week too?
If you have a
Is
car
this it for us
accident,
for the season? This
if
is
you
our
have a
last
car
of the year.
accident,
I'll take you on too if you've had a car accident.
we have
after
no,
I
no,
finish
no,
with
no,
her.
we
Believe me,
won't. No,
after
he
you've
won't.
been hit by the car, you
He will
won't feel
take on
his
the
hit at all.
insurance company.
You know,
we are
it's the
fine
knee that
lawyers. We
would
have a
stop.
fine team of lawyers.
And the age.
Please call us.
No, I could beat her.
You really
Goodbye.
can't. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Happy New Year.
She would destroy you.
No,
In
I don't
fact,
think so.
I think we could tie a hand behind her back. Her dominant arm.
I think you're wrong.